The nursery is all together now. These are all the hives we pulled out on our switch outs. I guess you can call this the garbage yard. So all these hives, all these nukes, I guess you can call them now, they are the colonies through the operation, which we identified as a queen potentially failing or falling flat. So we pulled her down into the 5 frames and some 6 frames here, just to refresh that spot with a viable queen, and not actually taking a loss on that unit, just switching them out. So we're looking at 3-4 frames bees going on, something like that. Obviously a little bit of a stagger because these should be filling a box of bees. So because they fell flat, they might as well be refreshed, right? And this, by spending a bit of attention to them here, we're not compromising the production within the operation. We can just go through, spend a few hours, find the queens, kill them, drop a queen cell in there, get them going again, and then drop them into dead spots later on in the fall. So it's kind of a make work project, but it's allowed me to identify the units that's fallen flat without having to make that tough decision whether or not to take a dead out loss on it. So we're just keeping them going. And if they prove themselves worthy, we can put them back in, but most of them will be getting a queen cell. As Carrie continues on with her work in the builder yard, we're on to we've done the full cycle now. We're on to line B of graft on these builders, and we're just about to transfer the cell from slot A to slot B so we can drop another graft frame in there. So that frame is nicely loaded with bees, so much so I can't even see there's the cells. Cells are being developed very nicely. Look at that. How many blanks in this frame? That one's not quite capped. That one's not quite capped. So they're just being capped over, and we're switching them. This is a 43 to 45.
Yeah.
So we're switching them from slot A into slot B to spend the next 4 days in the builder until we transfer these cells into the incubator. Those cells are right full of jelly. Lots of jelly production going on here. Good deal. These builders were stocked with 10 pounds of bees, which I think is good.
That's plenty.
There's no bearding out front, and there's a lot of activity going on inside, using up all their space. So here we're just priming the new graft. She grafts at 1 o'clock every day. And that just helps, I guess, prime the cells. I don't know if it makes any difference, but
well, they clean it out.
It makes it their own. Drawing out foundations, good sign. How's the sugar? I definitely need sugar in there.
You're building in there too.
We want to keep this feeder full of sugar, and we want to keep empty comb within the builder at all times, so they're actively transferring sugar into the combs to keep all their stomachs full of sugar at all times so they can produce lots of wax for us. And this brood frame will be switched out tomorrow on all these units. Being Wednesday, we switch these out on Wednesday just to make sure we don't run into any trouble with emergency cells. Running a 45 cell start every 4 days, so that's a lot of work on these units. Are they on the protein patty? Yep.
You're looking at it.
How's their sugar? It's low too. Still some in there. We will make sure that's topped up. We're taking our place taker out, which is foundation, which is nicely drawn out. Look at that. That's a good builder. Building lots of wax.
We still have a cell made.
And then wanting to build queen cups. All the cells in there, eh?
They've got cups made, but no cells on this side. Destroyed.
Nice white wax. Just capping these cells. All the way to the bottom. Right full of jelly. So the cells go into slot B, which will sit there for another 4 days until it hits the incubator. And then we will start another frame of cells in slot A. Continual start. Every 4 days, another 45 cells. 4 days, 4 days, 4 days. How many were in this one again?
It was 43.
43 out of 45. Those are the ones that are viable.
43, 43, 44. 44.
This one's a 44. Lots of bees. It's hanging around. Some attention to the patty, not a whole lot. There's a lot of pollen coming in. But hopefully we get rain over the next few days, and that'll interrupt the pollen flow coming in, so they'll be focusing on their reserves. And that's when we want that protein patty up top, just to help provide a little more of the bulk protein to keep these builders nice and primed. Their sugar is hard to tell how low it is. Lots of wax being drawn. Healthy, healthy.
This side isn't as strong.
Do an inspection on the brood frame. This is important. Well, we primarily put the brood frame in to help stick the bees to the builder box. These are all torn.
Yeah, they're all taking them down.
Are they killed? Did you do that, or did somebody else do that?
Some of it might be damage that I did. Oh,
That one looks like a virgin did that, or a queen.
it's too early for...
There's a red flag.
Yep, there's eggs.
There is a queen in this colony. Damn it. So what we're going to do is we're going to shift these cells to another builder.
Yeah, there's eggs.
Eggs in that frame. Let's take a quick look at these cells to make sure there's no damage on them, but it should be, it's too early for that, eh?
Usually it's when they start seeing, well, hearing movement. So there won't be as many successful frames in this, well, cells in this, because they'll...
So some of these are being rejected. Maybe still, that
How
one's
did the
being...
queen get in here?
Yeah, they're tearing quite a bit down. I brought the bee brush to sweep the bees off that graft frame so we could put this into another builder so the queen doesn't do any damage. But it looks like Carrie's found the queen already. Oh, she's kind of pretty.
But also pretty skinny.
You
Very small.
deserve to be killed off because you are causing trouble, but Carrie is going to salvage you into a nuke. So this just kind of highlights one of the flaws of my system, is as we shake the bees from all those colonies to gather the bees, from time to time, 2 queen colonies, so we find 1 queen and then we shake the bees, ultimately shaking the other queen into the builder, and I think that causes us a little bit of grief, more than I appreciate. So she is going to live in here for the rest of her days and not see a squish. Okay, I'm going to get you a frame. So now that she's laid eggs, we're going to have to pay attention to this hive to make sure that we don't have any rogue virgins emerge. So we'll just make sure we remember that. Well, that was crisis averted. So we lost how many cells? I guess we should have counted.
Yeah.
We could,
Yeah, we gotta
let's do a count because we need to know. There's a lot of disturbance here, but we got to know.
1, 2,
I'm counting 22 good ones now.
Are you counting full cups or wax?
I'm counting just the full cell.
Okay.
The smaller ones, I'm assuming they've pulled down. There's
Yeah,
one here that's
the ones that are half cups I would consider not, like this one in particular.
yeah, I didn't count that either
I would count it as not.
because they're devouring the jelly in there too. They're salvaging, eh?
Yeah.
So let's count maybe 20 from that. So they took 20 from us. That was a good start though, for a queen being in there.
Yeah. I'll have to throw another 2 frames of bees in here later, but
That's a really good start for having a queen in there. Okay, so that is that. Just rolling with the punches. One thing I've learned to realize as we're building cells is there's always problems. There isn't ever a year that we don't have problems, and it's just a matter of finding the problem before they become a problem. And when the problem does become a problem, just not worry about the problem, just let it happen and carry on with things. Because there's so many dynamics going on within these builders and the process. So many things have to come together, fit together to make it all work out. So it's just a matter of letting it work out. And with that, I think we're going to go to the yards now. It is a beautiful, sunny, warm day. It's going to be 30 degrees, but we can't kick this wind. All the same, the bees are out flying, so we got to get to work.